Azure finding Infected, and that is going to be a Saints capture after quite a few ults were committed from Winthrop there. Now the Saints just have to keep control here with that Dragon Blade in pocket with High Noon on the way. Definitely having a chance to get your first points on the board.
Axure, the astounding Orisa on the side of these Saints, has been crucial so far in every game that they've played, on every kind of tank you can imagine. And now Razor is trying to find a little bit of his own spotlight. Going to take down Liar, going to try to find another, but now No has to back up because Ultraviolet has popped that ult down. Nox is able to find Rack Attack, but that ultimate is getting onto them. Now Zura with the ultimate finds one, looking to find two, might find a third, onto one more of the Saints left over. No Infected is going to finish it off and find two of his own onto Razor and Soaks. And now, as we saw before, Winthrop have taken the point away from the Saints.
And it's that 1-2 punch of Infective and Zura that was leading the charge for Winthrop. Again, very similar to that first flashpoint. The Saints were able to get about 80% before Winthrop was able to come back with ults of their own in hand and secure it, and then just didn't look back from there. I mean, Winthrop has just been looking so dominant. That Wrecking Ball, like we said, just so good at just being literally everywhere and just being annoying, to be quite frank. Just so annoying to deal with, dropping a bunch of mines on the point, able to escape, but was going to get pushed out before taking that health back, but able to retreat all the way to the back line. The Saints retake control of the point, 92%, just about at the end here. Have to keep Infected off the point, and it looks like they're going to do it. Saints tie the score as we wait for that next flashpoint to go up.
Axure just going to bully Ultraviolet here, sending them back to the lobby, and now going to the next flashpoint. They have it equal. 1-1, 0-0. Now looking to find an advantage here. Will the Saints take this point first yet again and Winthrop answer back to take it, or will the Saints be able to keep full control? Is the kind of question that I want to get an answer to right now, because Saints have found first contact to both points so far in this game. They lost one, but they took the other.
Infected swapping back to Mauga here, trying to change up the strategy for Winthrop. Azure, though, doing a good job at keeping him off the point, and again, finding picks with that spear. That's Ultraviolet going down yet again. Noxious in a duel with Zura, but Redix is going to be that hero. A team kill for the Saints, and the Saints, like we said, are going to capture flashpoint number 3 right away. Still 2 ults in hand. Azure and Razor both having their ults right now for the Saints. Rack Attack with his for Winthrop. Definitely going to be an impact in the next team fight, but the Saints waiting for the next Winthrop push here. Doing a good job so far of dealing with that Mauga. Azure trying to pop that all right away and is going to find 2. That's Liar and Rack Attack going down. Azure trying to find a third, and he does. Ultraviolet yet again. Azure just has Ultraviolet's number right now. Another team kill for St. Clair. They continue to cruise and keep that percentage going up.
Just absolutely body blocking Winthrop and Infected from getting onto that point. Axure was right in their face with the ultimate, found the first onto Liar, and just cleaned it up with the rest of their utility. And now it has given Winthrop an unfortunate scenario where they've got to get onto this point quick, and it looks like they're going to try it. Zura finds the first onto Noxious, trying to find a couple more now, possibly to find the healers in the back line. He's spotted them out now. Will he find the first? Looks like he's going to get pushed off, though, by Axure. Has definitely been the nightmare in their dreams so far in this entire game. Infected is going to get his ultimate here, which could be a game changer, which we have not seen yet for Winthrop, though they have taken control of the point.
4 ults to play with for Winthrop, and there is the first of them coming out. That Zero with that Dragon Blade, finding one. That Soak's going down. Infected getting Redix. The Winthrop team doing really well in response here. That's Azure getting killed by his own bullets as Zura deflecting them back into his face. Winthrop retakes control of the point, has a little bit of time to breathe now. 3 more ults in hand for Winthrop, 2 for St. Clair. Gonna have to think that the Saints are gonna want to use that Kiriko ult to lead the charge in that fight, but the real wild card here is Noxious with that high noon. Who knows what he's gonna be able to do with that, and that is exactly what we're gonna see now as the high noon and the Kiriko ult comes out with that Lucio ult gonna save him. Oh, he does manage to get enough charge to take out Infected. Absolutely huge for St. Clair as they attempt to capture it in overtime, and they do. Just have to get to the end of the overtime meter to secure the point. A team kill's gonna do it. Saints are able to outlast Winthrop. Another point in their favor.
The game-changing moment from Noxious. Infected said, "You are locked in this cage with me," but yet again, Noxious was able to turn it around and say, "You are locked in here with me!" What an absolute beautiful way to take that fight into their own hands. And now the Saints just have to find one more flashpoint, and then they have closed this series out.
Still a heavy task, a tough task ahead of them, but definitely a good start to this next one here. Here is Azure. Again, Zura with that first pick onto Soaks here. Winthrop getting onto the point first. Like we've seen before, the Saints having to readjust and rethink their strategy here. That's Razor going down. Zura is quietly having a very good game here for the side of Winthrop. Infected, not able to be as effective onto Mauga. You had to think that why would you switch off of Wrecking Ball when he was doing so good for you, but obviously they know the strats better than me. I'm just a humble caster, but I call a spade when I see it. Speaking of calling spades here, look at the Saints trying to move up again, but Azure super weak in that back line. That turret up top, Razor does able to take that out. Saints a little lethargic to get back on this point here, but you have to think they got something cooking.
Indeed. Now this is the first point that we've seen Winthrop take control. Might be the game changer for them. Looks like Rack Attack is going to drop down the Molten Core. Fire is everywhere. And now it looks like a couple more to follow. Liar, Ultraviolet, and Zura all popping their ults as well. And Infected finds the first. Liar and Red Attack to answer back. And now it looks like the entire Saints roster is sent back to the lobby. And Winthrop have equaled it out. There's but one more flashpoint, ladies and gentlemen, left in this game. Will the Saints take it 3-0, or will Winthrop send it to a Game 5?
Oh, you had to expect that it would go down to the last flashpoint. I mean, that's just how the script writers were writing it. But I mean, it's been so close on either side. But Noxious trying to end it right here, trying to use that ult to get some more picks. Can't find anybody. Unfortunately, it's going to be a bit of a waste. Not able to get Zura with that ultimate, just missing that headshot. But Saints again try to get to that point first, but here comes Infected charging in, and now Azure swapping to that Mauga as well, keeping that mirror match going. Infected able to get Redix. Winthrop has really started to find their stride here, and the Saints haven't really been able to find an answer for it, but that is a good start as Infected goes down. That Soak's taking him out, but Zura trying to get some more picks of his own here. That Soak's going down in response to killing his teammate, and that's Azure again falling. Zura on a 10-player kill spree right now, just absolutely doing it all for Winthrop. Still in the game. Saints did get some time on the point, but now Winthrop in control, and they're not looking to give it up.
Not at all. They have played beautiful so far, and Axer trying to switch over to that Mauga to meet the aggression over from Infected just hasn't worked for him just yet. We saw a little bit there where he tried to get a pick onto the healers on the side of Winthrop, but they were just cut completely out by Zura, who was just able to mow down anybody, and especially one of the biggest tanks in the entire game, Mauga, who Axer has just decided to pick up now. Winthrop, they've got a great lead on the capture point, the flash point so far, but Razor looking to answer back and change that, popping the Dragon Blade, but doesn't find anybody and has to back up now. Zora now going to show him what a DPS is made of, finds Noxus, and now it looks like Axer might be able to answer back with the help of Razor, finds Infected, but Zura answers back to find both of their supports now, and Axer is left to his lonesome. It is all said and done, and Winthrop have taken the third flashpoint, and we will see Game 5.
Again, the script writers really knew what they were doing when they were writing this series. I mean, it would be so devastating if you were to have that 2 lead and then just take it out after. But Zura, well-deserved play of the game here. That Dragon Blade was absolutely going crazy on that second flashpoint here. Zura was a huge impact for Winthrop. I mean, we highlighted him in the pregame, him and Ultraviolet playing on Nightmare together, pro-level play. This is Tier 1 players we're talking about fighting collegiate players, so we know there's a big skill discrepancy in both squads, but, Saints have done a very good job at holding their own, but Winthrop proving that they're a bit more of a overwhelming force than the Saints were expecting.
Indeed, and it has shown that even though Saints were able to read Winthrop beautifully on the first 2 games, they were able to easily adjust and answer back now, meeting them with 2 games of their own. And now it has put Saints on the back foot. They don't have the momentum. They might have a little bit of a chopped mental, but you know what? It is all coming down to one last game. I think the Saints just have to pull it back, have to come together as a team, and do what they were doing before. Reading Winthrop page for page, front and back, the entire book of what they have to play, and have to answer back, because you've got not 1, but 2 nightmares on the side of Winthrop that are causing an absolute mayhem for Saints to try and push through.
Well, we hope that book has a happy ending for St. Clair. I mean, we started out, we had a really hot start, and even those last 2 games, even though Winthrop was able to get the victory, they were very close. I mean, you have to think that the Saints easily, you win 1 team fight or, 1 member of Winthrop going down in inopportune time, Saints would have won those team fights. We would have had a victory here. I mean, both of those last 2 games had to go to overtime in order for Winthrop to get it. So Saints have been the better team. They just have to be better on closing it out and just ending it and not giving Winthrop any opportunity to come back in it.
Indeed, and it could just be a scenario where Winthrop were trying to take it a little easy on the first 2 games, and now, as we said, they have started to actually lock in and have played the game a little more seriously now, because we mentioned that. We didn't expect that this game would go as far as it did. I mean, especially some of the players were confident but not certain that it would go so far. They knew how to play against Winthrop, but still, when you know how to climb the mountain, it's still a big mountain.
Absolutely a big mountain to climb, an Everest-sized opponent in Winthrop. But again, the Saints have been proving that they're here to play too. They are absolutely willing and able to ball out as hard as Winthrop has been so far. But the key thing that the Saints are going to have to deal with is Infected and Zura. I mean, they really took control in that last game. So being able to have a plan for neutralizing the 2 of them is going to be the key to their success. Now, for Infected, whether that's bringing a more anti-tank focused DPS, maybe somebody, like we said, like a Reaper, or someone who's just able to get quick damage in very fast and able to deal with the speed that they're able to throw at them, with the pace that Winthrop is going to be playing. But Zura as well has just been hitting all the shots that he's been able to. And I mean, what do you even do about that when a Sojourner is just absolutely cooking and hitting all their shots? How do you even plan around somebody like that?
Well, we are going to find the answer as, ladies and gentlemen, it heads to the Portuguese home of Esperança. We're going to be seeing who will be able to push our friendly little bot the furthest, and let's see who will take this series. Game 5, Winthrop versus your St. Clair Saints.
Push is going to be a very interesting mode in this one. It's going to be very back and forth. So important to win those team fights, especially early in the game, to get that progress started quickly. So this first team fight is actually incredibly important for both sides here. You're going to see a lot of early overcommits from either side here. It looks like Winthrop is going to get to the robot first, and that's exactly what they wanted here. Azure trying to lead the charge for the Saints, swapping to that Junker Queen. We did see a little bit of Junker Queen in an earlier mode here today. Not a huge impact, but how do you like that matchup? Do you like that Junker Queen, or do you like Infected sticking out on Mauga? Who do you think has the advantage in the tank department?
I definitely think Infected is a little bit disadvantaged here because he is the bigger target and can take a lot more damage from that Junker Queen. And you know, I have to be a little biased there. She is my queen. I play her so much, and she is great at getting into those big groups of people and causing so much chaos. As her character stands to say, she is definitely a queen of mayhem.
Controlled chaos is the name of the game for sure. Azure trying to keep the pace going for the Saints here. Winthrop getting back to the robot, but not after the Saints were able to push up 27 meters. So a decent start, a respectable start, able to get back onto the robot to keep it pushing just that little bit farther here. But Winthrop again trying to get back as quickly as they can, but a little split right now. Not everybody is together, with Infected trying to go on this long flank with Mauga trying to get behind those squishies, and that is an ult from Soaks coming out. That is the first ult of the game. Soaks Curicle ult to try and push the pace for the Saints. Keep it going here, but a couple more ults. That's Redx using that beat drop to give a little bit more health, but not working in the slightest. So that's going to be a team kill for Winthrop, just absolutely fighting through that extra health. No resistance there, and now Winthrop retakes control of the robot.
You know, great way for Zura and Rat Attack to play aggressive, but also Ultraviolet playing a little bit more of that aggressive Juno. I saw them getting a little bit more up front onto Noxious to take them out of the game, and now it has led Winthrop to match the same distance that St. Clair have pushed. Not just yet, though. They've been able to stop it, and now they have taken control as Razor drops Zura, and now it looks like the rest of the team is going to be pushed back. The Queen is now unleashed and is now supported as well by the Bob, but is now trapped in a cage with Mauga trying to find the kill. Axer does, and now Bob is going to help clean up as well. The rest of Winthrop now have to get back as the Queen is angry and Soaks is here to play.
The Queen is angry, and again, the Saints able to weather the storm of a couple ults from Winthrop. I mean, still in the lead here, have to get back to where they were before in terms of progress, but rapidly approaching that first checkpoint. That first checkpoint's going to be big because that's going to give them that advanced farther spawn. So it's going to make it a lot easier for them to keep pushing. Winthrop back in control. Razor having to back out with that Dragon Blade, getting hit right away, is not going to find Zura. Zura's going to take him out, has to use his ult to take Razor out. So unfortunate for the Saints. You would have liked to have had that pick. Zura now keeping the pace going for Winthrop. Infected swapping to that Orisa. Again, Mauga not working out for him there, trying to find Azure. Does get the pick onto Azure. Winthrop retaking control of the robot, and now they're going to have quite a little bit of time, just those precious few seconds to get those extra meters while the Saints have to reset completely.
You know, they're definitely going to be taking the lead here because Infected is just pushed right up into their space. They're not yet on the point to take the right fight, but I might be wrong. Actually, no, I'm not. Now, Winthrop have taken the lead by a small margin, waiting for this robot to continue moving, but St. Clair are answering back. The Kasune out, and Axer has the Queen ult as well. Looks like the Reckoning has become, and now tries to get somebody. Rat Attack is going to drop Razor, and Lyre is also going to be dropping someone. Zura also drops down Soaks, and it looks like the Reckoning did not come in due time, didn't help them out enough, and Winthrop have been able to keep control of this robot.
Oh, Azure got, I think he got booped from Lucio, and that just completely changed the trajectory of his ult and hit nobody on the side of Winthrop. That would have been an absolute game changer if that team fight goes the way of St. Clair. That might be a moment we're going to be looking back on later in this game as a potential game-changing moment here. We're going to hold that one on the back burner for now, but that definitely is going to be a moment we're going to be looking back on if the time comes. Saints do retake control of the robot, but having to get all the way back to where they were before, definitely not an easy task, especially when there's a bunch of lava in the road in their way, but Bob is here to try and help the Saints just that little bit more as they keep pushing the robot and pushing that pace. Azure, no, a little bit weak, but that is Red X coming in with that ult to give them just that little bit extra health. Infected's Orisa ult, that pull not finding anybody. Razor does go down to Ultraviolet. We should start calling him Sabrina Carpenter the way he's been playing Juno so good in this game. But Azure still committed and still on that point. Just needs a little bit more help from the Saints in order to keep it going for them in a battle with Infected. But that health not looking good. And he is going to go down Liar with 2. Winthrop continuing to push the robot. Saints need to find an answer quickly, because this is really going to get tough for them if they let Winthrop go farther than this.
The Bebop Maniac, Lucio, founding 2 kills onto the Saints. Great work out from Liar. Now, they have more time to push this point even further, but it looks like Red X and Razor are trying to get into the backline to cause a little bit of trouble for Ultraviolet, but he's going to pop that ultimate down, and it's just badly timed by Acture. Doesn't find anything as that Juno ult is there to counter them, and Zura is able to find Acture. Now Infected drops 2 of his own, and now the Saints have to come back and regroup yet again because Winthrop are on a rampage.
I think that might have been the last chance for St. Clair. Once you get around this corner here, Winthrop is basically right at the door to a win. Even if Saints do take control, you have to go all the way back with the robot, and that is such a challenging task, especially with the way Winthrop is playing right now and controlling the pace. But a lot of missed opportunities for the Saints in this one. Just a lot of missed ults that should have hit when they didn't here. But as soon as I speak, the Saints prove that they are not dead yet. Getting a couple picks there. That's Red X with Ultraviolet. Saints now have to get the robot all the way back. Still a long way to go, but good thing to start with would be getting rid of that advanced Winthrop spawn.
Indeed, and they've got to definitely get through one fight before they can start to push this point a little bit, because Winthrop, they're going to be ready for them. They're going to have ultimates on board. Looks like Liar has just picked up his own, and Infected and Rack Attack are close to follow. Now, both healers on the side of the Saints have got theirs. Will be interesting to see how they drop them. Looks like Soaks is going to be able to drop the first, and is going to help Acture out, being very aggressive in the front line. Looks like Molten Core is dropped out now by Rack Attack, and looks like Radix is going to be able to counter that with his own beat drop from Lucio. Razor on this Pharah, a little bit of a change, possibly a crucial factor to play into this next push, but it looks like Liar has dropped his own Lucio ultimate, and now Winthrop have enough momentum to try and push through it, but Acture is not taking any of it to the bank.
Yeah, Razor with another pick there. That switch to Pharah might be the spark that they need. That aerial superiority is what they've been missing, and here's Azure with another ult, finding Ultraviolet yet again, but is going to go down from Infected. The Saints had a great push there, but just not able to get as far as they would have liked. 48 seconds left to go. Winthrop taking control of the robot. Going to be very, very tough for the Saints to get back to that position now. That was the team fight they had to win in order to have a shot at winning this game. A couple more meters, and Winthrop is going to get that advanced spawn back to make it just that much harder for the Saints to get the win that they need, because they still have over 50 meters to cover if they have a shot at winning this game here, because right now Winthrop just completely in control, and it doesn't look like anything is going to stop them. 15 seconds left on the clock. One ult for the Saints. It's just Razor, his justice from above, and a dream at this point. And here it is, like we called it out. Does find Ultraviolet, but not before he pops the ult of his own here. Zura with another pick onto Azure. It's overtime now. This is now or never for St. Clair. This is the one you have to win if you want a shot, but it looks like it won't be done as game gets paused, but that is going to do it. Unfortunately, that will be the end. Sort of an unclimactic ending to it, but Winthrop able to come back from down 2-0 to win the day against St. Clair. Definitely not the outcome the Saints were hoping for, but they played a hell of a series against Winthrop, just not able to fight against those absolute nightmares, those demons that Winthrop has on their roster.
Indeed, and we saw so many great MVPs out from Winthrop. Just goes to show how much of a powerhouse team they actually are, because they're mostly professional players. This has been a great example of how Saints can play at that level against top tier level talent when they're not playing at their best. We're not playing together as a team, more so just relying on their professional experience. But you know what? Congratulations to Winthrop, ending out the season undefeated. And you know, our Saints, they don't have to take this to the back as much as they do. They shouldn't take this as a bad thing. They sent a professional level team to Game 5. That is definitely an amazing challenge, and Evan, I've been in those situations before, casting leagues for Overwatch, where you've got this pub team versus an actual established esports team, where they've been able to send them to a Game 5 or a Game 4 and been able to put their money where their mouth is. And you know what? It may not end in their benefit, but it's still a great testament to how great of a team they are.
No, absolutely. I mean, and even like we were saying earlier, those games, they weren't a stomp for Winthrop. I mean, the Saints had opportunities to win that one. I really think they feel like they should have won today. I mean, like, you think about Dorado, I mean, goes to overtime, flashpoint, goes to the fifth flashpoint. You know, there are a couple of team fights you should have won. That last one, that Junker Queen ult that was missed when Azure was pushed out of the way, that was the moment. If the Saints had won that team fight, if that Junker Queen ult had hit even just like 2 or 3 members of Winthrop, that's a team fight that goes in St. Clair's favor. And who knows where it would have gone from there. But like we were saying earlier, that was the moment that we're really going to highlight as the TSN turning point, we can even say. That was the absolute turning point in that game for Winthrop, and they just did not look back from there.
And you know what? If we had to talk about it, who would be our MVP? Even though it was Winthrop winning it out, I have to put it to Acture. Acture played great on any tank that he was picking up and was able to help the entire team on an aggressive stance. And you know what? We've also got to congratulate him because he just turned 19 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Acture. And I hope he had a great birthday. Definitely not the best way to end a couple days after your birthday. Probably was wishing for a win, but you know what? Either way, happy celebration, and I hope he'll spend some quality time just with himself and with his family.
Hey, you know, spending some quality time with his team, at least, you know, but definitely some positives to take away from this. Like you said, Azure had a fantastic series. I mean, he was definitely my Saints MVP for sure, just absolutely controlling the pace of every single team fight that they were starting and just finding the ways to follow him. He was really setting the pace for every single fight, just getting in there whenever he needed to, not afraid to switch any tanks or, you know, try something different for the strategy. So definitely well-deserved, but also shout out to the support players of St. Clair. I mean, I think Red X and Soaks doing so well for themselves, but unfortunately just not the result that we were hoping for, and that unfortunately is going to do it for us on the broadcast. We want to thank everybody involved in the production of this B stream. We're running with some new things on the B stream, and I think we've done an excellent job of setting things up. So shout out to our production setup man, our master of broadcasts, Owen. Thank you very, very much for doing that. Also shout out to our observers and everybody else, the team. Got to shout out the sponsors. Of course, always have to shout out the sponsors of the broadcast. St. Clair SRC, St. Clair Alumni Association, Alienware, Tim Hortons, Subway, every single person who's been involved. Thank you very much. And Wyatt, anything left to say as we close it out here?
I just have to say the Saints played an absolute stellar game. Happy birthday to Acture, and we'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow for some more Saints action. And that's it for today. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.